What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of That Time in Hip Hop, a podcast all about hip hop, of course, but the music, the nostalgia, but more importantly, the preservation of hip hop music and culture. I am your host, Vegas of Hip Hop Now podcast. With me, as always, you already see it. He got the paraphernalia all on the hat, background, all of that. Tony from Into the Dome podcast and website.com. What's good, bro?
Look, man, so it's raining today, so I couldn't get on my bike. So I rode the Peloton tonight, man. Had a nice meal, sipping me a nice cold beverage tonight. It's not water tonight, it is a beer. But everything is good, man. How about yourself, man?
I'm good, man. You know, I'm a little bougie today. I got the limoncello with the Sprite.
Right.
Trying to keep it a little light. I lost 35 pounds, so you know.
Man, that's dope, man.
I gotta chill because I was wilding before. I was doing everything.
Yeah, man.
But if you don't know, we got like 70-something episodes of this podcast telling you about different periods in hip-hop, from film to albums to crazy award shows like the Source Award show. You know, the one with Snoop and Y'all Don't Love Us. You know that one. KRS-One throwing PM Dawn off the stage, only built for Cuban links. MC Hammer, yes, right. We gave MC Hammer his flowers.
Thanks.
Short. I mean, honestly, sometimes we go back and look like, damn, we covered a lot of ground. But this is hip hop, and there's a lot that's always happening and going on. So again, this is a community discussion, honestly. So in the comment section, we definitely want y'all to chime in and say what you think. We read the comments, we respond to the comments. Here on this channel, trying to get the 500 subscribers. Just hit 430, so we kind of getting there. At one point it was like at 200, so I'm not mad. I appreciate everybody, but if you like what we're doing right here, it's easy. You can subscribe, you can like, comment, but most importantly, go to your social media platforms and share the content, especially with this episode, because we're going to be doing something that everybody's been talking about. And sometimes this show is not always about everything that happened in the past. Sometimes hip-hop history happens right in front of our faces.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to do something about that. We got to talk about it. So we're going to get into that. But first, we like to do a thing where we look at what happened in hip-hop history this month, May. Back in May of 1995, Master Ace Incorporated released their second album, Sitting on Chrome. Now, Tone, when you first heard this particular album, especially after they already had one album, what were your thoughts on the album? Were you a fan of Master INC Incorporated and all that, or what?
Well, yeah, man. First things first, just been a Master Ace fan dating back to high school, Juice Crew, Symphony, and all that. He was always dope. And I also had to Take a Look Around, was his debut album, man. I loved, man. Like, that was one of my favorite albums, man, back in like high school or whatever. So I always checked for Master Ace, and Master Ace never really missed. Even with the INC, it was dope. But so for this particular one, I just kind of noticed he went different with the sound. You know what I'm saying? So this album kind of had more of a West Coast kind of like G-Funk. It was like a West Coast album almost. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget the video, the INC Ride, the one with the like Isley Brothers sample. You know what I'm saying? And it's the ride, y'all. It's what I'm saying, like, and they ride down through the city or whatever, man. The vibe was dope, man. Master Ace, he's one of those rappers, man, that he actually never sounded whack on the mic. Right. No matter what kind of production, what kind of vibe, he always sounds good, man. I mean, I like the album anyway, man. I thought it was solid, man. But that joint was my go-to song and my go-to video back in the day when it used to come on You Running, and that was one of the videos I really, really enjoyed, man. But solid project, man. And even up to now, he's 57 years old. I saw a couple of days ago. He's still, every project he drops is dope. And this is just another dope one from him, man. Like one of the most underrated discographies in rap, man. But I enjoyed this project, man. What about you?
I totally agree. I mean, I feel the same way. Like the first project I was kind of cool on, right? You know, you like Master Ace, you see he got a little crew or whatever.
Yep.
Um, but it kind of was like in line with what was happening on the music or the hip hop scene, especially East Coast back then. But I remember seeing the cover for sitting on Chrome, and I'm like, oh, you know, okay,
Mm-hmm.
second album. And like you said, when I heard the INC Ride joint, I went and bought
Yeah.
that. Hold up.
You probably have it back there. I don't have my stuff I'm in the kitchen.
Here it is.
What's that? Yeah.
I bought the single back then.
Look at that.
As soon as I heard the song, radio remixes here, the Fat Cat mix,
Yeah.
No Ends mix.
Yeah, I remember it being several mixes, man. Several
Yeah.
versions of the song. Because I think the album version is different than the video version.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I think, yeah, it's a different beat. It's a different beat.
That was the thing, man. I was just I like that song so much. Obviously, you know, I like the Isley Brothers sample.
Of
But like
course.
you said, man, the hook was catchy, and you're right. Like Master Ace is probably one of the most underappreciated hip hop legends in the game, especially for someone who's still active. Him and Marco Polo have done it's like back-to-back albums. One was called Brooklyn. The other one, this one's called Richmond, I think. Both are dope. I don't. There's just too many skits for me. But the music though is crazy. So if you haven't heard Master Ace Incorporated, specifically sitting on Chrome, definitely check that out. Got a nice West Coast feel. You know what I'm saying? And they do the justice with rapping over the beats, but also check out his discography. He got a lot of music, y'all.
Woo.
Like a lot. So there you have it. Now we're gonna get into the main thing here. The main reason why we came. You saw the artwork, probably read the description. Maybe you're fatigued, but I'm gonna give you a good reason why you should listen to what we're saying versus others, or you can listen to them and us. But the main reason is because we're not here to only say who won or only to say what we felt about the specifics of the battle, but to give you entire context on what happened before, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? All the details. So if you have no idea, you just heard, yo, I be working, I just seen all this commotion, what's going on, relax. We're going to go through all of it for you, and we're going to talk about it. So, Tone, tell the people what we're here to talk about.
You know, first let me say this. In the history of hip-hop, we've been here before. You have to see this in every era. We've talked about this on earlier podcasts. We even did episodes on that time when Kumo D rocked Busy Bee in the Harlem World. You know what I'm saying? When he said put that Bob Diddy Bob bullshit on hold. When Busy Bee didn't even know it, Kumo D was just hosting the show, and Busy Bee think he's smashing everybody else. And he said he the best MC in the room, and Mo D is like, yeah, no, you're not. You know what I'm saying? After that, Run start calling people sucker MCs. You know what I'm saying? One of the first things of dissing other rappers. Nothing new, people. We're talking about early 80s right there. At some point, Mo D, who was a battle rapper, Treacherous 3 legend, battles LL Cool J. Part of the game, y'all. At some point, this guy that lived in a homeless shelter, you know him now as KRS-One, attacks a guy named MC Shan over a song that had nothing to do with nothing. He was giving props to his own neighborhood with the bridge. And then Chris makes South Bronx and Shan makes Kill That Noise, and Chris said the bridge is over. He just and Chris said if Shan would have ignored me, I'd be nowhere. It wouldn't be no BDP, no human education against lies, no temple of hip hop, no self-destruction, all that. He said because he was an MC, he had to answer it. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about other situations and other battles at some point just for context in here. So yes, today we're talking about finally, Kendrick Lamar has wanted this for years, and Kendrick Lamar and Drake have battled now set the hip hop world on fire. We seen every type of talking point over the last few days, from it's the greatest to it's the worst to it's mid. I hate that word mid. I already typed on Twitter the other day. I can't wait till they retire that shit. Retire and do a funeral for the word mid. But every type of word to describe this, I've seen what people said. It went too low. Bad allegations. This, that, and the third. And we're going to talk about some other battles where, hey, man, all's fair in love and war. And the art of war is to destroy your opponent. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get into some of that as well. But Kendrick Lamar, we're going to do the timeline at some point in this episode about how it started generating to the point we got now. But let me say this, babe. In Drake's defense, and look, people have called me a Drake hater in the last few days to the point where what I did, because I keep receipts, I posted all the tweets and even videos of me defending Drake over all the years that I called him hip-hop. It's not a secret. If you put Tony the Dome in your Twitter handle and put in Drake, you'll see I always show Drake love. You know what I'm saying? Because I appreciate the dude's talent. You know what I'm saying? But he has stepped up to every challenge, whether you like him or not. He answered the bell with Common, just like Ben and Siegel said on that interview years ago. He said, y'all say what you want to, but Drake said, we're at the finish line. We can't wait to run into you. You know what I'm saying? So Drake battled Pusha T. And like I've said on other podcasts before, if that story Adidon didn't come out or whatever, that Duppy freestyle, go back and listen to it now. Drake with the shit too. Now he'll battle you back. He got Meek Mill's nice with back to back. You know what I'm saying? He's battled people, man. You know what I'm saying? So Big Daddy Kane said on Beef, like I've said before, two MCs can't be in the same room saying they the best. It's gonna clash. This is one of the few times, though, Vague, that the two guys at the top of the game at a particular moment battle. A lot of the battles, one might have been at the top, one might have been number 3 or number 4 in the rankings for that era. Right now, Drake is the biggest commercial star, and Kendrick Lamar on the charts right now, killing everybody. But Kendrick is like that other big star on the tours and stuff. They're the two biggest MCs. You know what I'm saying? Like pound for pound, and they battle. That's like the Nas and Jay-Z battle. They're the two biggest at the time. So this doesn't happen that often, and it's not appreciated, man. But look, man, this is your initial thoughts, man, when you heard the first, I guess, when Metro Boomin and Future with the Like That or whatever. Was that your first inclination? Like, okay, we might end up getting something. We might get a battle or something. Or what was you thinking when Kendrick said what he said?
Oh, I thought it's on now. I mean, I've been waiting just as long as Kendrick's been waiting, honestly. And it's obviously for those watching, it's not because we're not Drake fans.
Not at all.
It's because you don't really wait. Like, we're not waiting for Mike Tyson to fight Jake Paul. We're not. That's not a matchup that we want to see. A matchup we wanted to see, which already had a little static, already had a little animosity in there, a little sensitivity in there. So when I heard Like That, I was like, I'm glad Kendrick is now just saying no more indirects, talking to y'all. You and J. Cole, since he wants to chime in, but I'm really talking to you. And I was excited, man. I was excited to see where it would go from there, because I knew Drake wasn't going to back down. I knew he was going to be with it.
So did you think that, you know what, Kendrick been waiting for this moment? Because when we think about the Control verse, he named a lot of people and he named Drake. But then when he turned around with the BET Cypher, I know we was going to kind of get into that part too. You know, he had that energy. He rhyming over that damn Mobb Deep, Shook One's beat?
Shook One's, yeah.
Shook One's beat. And that was the Kendrick Lamar at that time when I saw that. And just like I said on Twitter recently, Kendrick Lamar has the battle rap spirit. He had the spirit of Corrupt in him. He's influenced by Corrupt and Jay and Nas and Eminem and all these guys, but he has that spirit of battle in him. You know what I'm saying? So if you listen to his earlier mixtape joints when he was just pretty much K-Dot, the kid from Compton, really, he had that aggressive. I mean, he ended up being conscious on Section 80 and the storytelling on Good Kid, Mad and City and all that. But young K-Dot was a battle type of energy person. So when he did the Control, then turn around with the BET Cypher, he said something about but the sensitive rap in the pajamas type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody knew he was talking about Drake. So that's 2 shots right there, back to back. Vay, what was
Right.
your thoughts when you heard the BET cipher?
Tuck the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes.
Woo.
Like I was hyped. And there was a lot of like people saying, oh well, it's about Big Sean because they were doing a little back and forth, but it's about man, like Big Sean got his smoke, don't worry. But this was about Drake because from what I heard at the time, and it's kind of resurfaced now, is the fact that when he made the Control verse, everybody kind of got where he was coming from. All right, competition, cool, let's go some bars. But Drake was the only one who got sensitive about it and didn't like it. And him, he probably did some things behind the scenes. He kind of threw a tantrum. So at the end of the day, it's sort of like, yo, man, this is hip hop.
And you know what though? Drake might have felt that way because of 2 collaborations at one point. Kendrick was on Take Care and Drake was on Poetic Justice on Good Kid, Mad City, and they had been on the same tour at some point together before. So they had somewhat of a relationship. But this is what I say about Kendrick Lamar. And I said this also recently. Kendrick don't care. At the end of the day, he'll do from Compton. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why he said stuff about J. Cole, you know what I'm saying, and Drake, and didn't mind, and he's not backing down, and he wasn't gonna go do this apology thing like what J. Cole did, which me being from North Carolina, I didn't like that at all because, hey, J. Cole, you've been saying you the best rapper for the last couple of years and all your features, and me being a North Carolina dude and have a lot of love for J. Cole, I still do. I rock with J. Cole. When the fall off come, I'll be one of the first ones posting about it. I don't care about, at the end of the day, dope music is dope music. But I was pissed off about that. But nevertheless, Kendrick Lamar, I said he doesn't care. Kendrick Lamar been wanting to smoke with everybody. When I say everybody, he has certain people that he feel like his generation, his level, his peers. Because when he did the Control verse, you had all these random New York rappers dissing Kendrick, and everybody like, Kendrick don't want to smoke with all of them. Kendrick don't care about them. He was focused on Drake, basically from day one, and then J. Cole, and then his other peers. He's not focused on 25 other damn underground rappers from New York.
Right.
So that was
right.
Papoose, Joel Ortiz, none of these cats. He was not focused on them. And shout out to a lot of them dudes. They nice, but there's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? And there was no perk in battling all of them. You know what I'm saying? His goal was Drake, and I think Drake looked at their relationship probably more than what he definitely looked at it more than what K-Dot thought it was. That's why he didn't mind saying it ain't no big 3, it's big me. Years later, he been poking the bear for years.
Right. Yeah, that's what's so weird about it, because even though I'm not surprised, because if you're a Drake fan, like most of us are, he can be sensitive. I mean, it's all in his music. He's always thrown subliminals, and not always at Kendrick, right? Just based off of situations, whether it's with a chick, you know what I'm saying, whether it's with another dude, another rapper, he's transparent in that regard. So him being sensitive about that was a little bit too far, but at the end of the day, pretending as if somebody's throwing rocks at the throne when you kind of took it there,
That's true, but you know what? Jay-Z said most kings get their head cut off. So once you get to a certain level of success, and Jay said there's this weird thing with success, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you get to the top of the mountain in anything, you're gonna have you're gonna have some haters, but you're gonna have competition as well. So if you name any top MC from any era, somebody had a problem with them. Hey, at what point, just like I posted that video when Run DMC and Kool Mo D and all them cats was rhyming, Mo D was taking it serious because Mo D wanted to get Run out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because Run was that nigga at one point. You know what I'm saying? So, same thing with KRS-One wanting to get at Melly Mel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be the best and expect nobody to come at you. You know what I'm saying? LL Cool J had a lot of competition because Cass was like, I'm going to go at L. You know what I'm saying? So Drake got to a certain level. He will fight back. he's been targeted by a lot of people. But the only opposition that makes sense is Kendrick Lamar, because Drake and J. Cole are friends. They've collaborated on multiple songs, on projects. They toured together, everything. So there's nothing with them. But
And
Kendrick, yeah.
You think about, the song that kind of set some of this off, even though it was indirect, mostly on the Drake side. First person shooter. Like, yeah. First of all, I'm not trying to add any fuel to the. I don't have a dog in the fight. I like both of them, but it was odd to see Drake on stage before we heard first person shooter. Not just giving J. Cole props because that's cool. It just felt like he wanted something. And if you go back and look at that hug on stage, there's a point where J. Cole's kind of done with the hug. You see the arm go kind of limp, but Drake's still hugging, so he kind of obliged him. And it just felt weird. But, as we'll get into, we found out that, it was supposed to be 3 and not 2.
Right.
But yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, I appreciate the response at some point. But let's get into the past 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did it start off, in your opinion, man? What was that first song? And we'll get into that as far as with the battle.
So the first song, ironically, is something that we talked about on this podcast. Well, not on this podcast, but on Hip Hop Now podcast, which was J. Cole responding with 7-minute drill to Kendrick. And, we all kind of felt like we expected a little bit better. And then he surprised us and apologized and said he was out. He also said he would take it on the chin. So it wasn't like he was expecting to not get flamed for being for bowing out of the battle. What, just for the people watching this, man, what did you think when in that what did you think about the song? And then just the fact that he not only bowed out the battle, but he took it off of streaming service.
Well, I wasn't mad at the song. I mean, I felt like it was more like baiting, like maybe it's gonna set off a little battle right here. So I wasn't necessarily mad at the song. Like I said a few minutes ago, I was more mad at, look, you put your hand out there, man. You can't, don't pull it back. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ever been to a gun class and got any kind of license concealed, you taught. You don't pull your gun out unless you're gonna shoot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People don't understand. You don't ever pull your gun out at somebody and just point your gun at them. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna pull your gun out, you need to be ready to discharge. You know what I'm saying? When people wonder why, oh man, when the police shot, they kept shooting. Well, police, when they're taught to shoot, they're not taught to shoot one time. Mm-hmm. They're gonna unload that clip, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you talk to any police about their training, that's what it is. So when Drake pulled his gun, when J. Cole pulled his gun out, you take 2 or 3 shots. And then you want to put it back in the holster. Now you got to empty the clip. You know what I'm saying? So you go on stage and say it just like kind of ain't in my spirit. What I really think, and again, I know we spoke about this on Hip Hop Now, it's like he liked Kendrick. He liked Kendrick music. He knew what he said. He didn't really mean it. And it was kind of one of the first times the MC was that honest. Like, man, you know what? I said that shit. I really shouldn't have said it. And I know people were mad at him. But at the end of the day, people act like that he killed hip hop or something. He didn't. You know what I'm saying? But he was honest by saying, at the end of the day, I like dude. Dude can rap. I do like his albums. I always thought it was kind of cool and shit like that. Man, I ain't got the energy because like I said, I think that J. Cole would have had to fabricate an entire song, you know what I'm saying, to really have a diss record and not feel what he really writing. And I think he's an honest cat in real life. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he didn't want to do that and just kind of fabricate something and do WWE when he really don't feel that way. Now, on the contrary, Kendrick feel a way about everybody, I feel like. Because in all his shots, whether it's the BT Cypher or the Control and all that, he's shown that energy for 10 years, man. I mean, this ain't nothing new.
Right.
For Kendrick Lamar, this ain't nothing new for him, but for J. Cole, man, Man, salute to him, man. He was honest with himself, man. At the end of the day, as long as he make dope music, man, he's gonna be okay. I think it's a little blemish on him in terms of he can't really be ranked above Drake and Kendrick after they did something epic like this.
Right.
But he'll always have his spot as part of this big three in this era. You know what I'm saying? But that definitely hurt him, man. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. And for those watching or who hadn't heard that song, one of the things that showed how much he wasn't committed to making a song about Kendrick or this record about Kendrick was him trying to flip the Jay-Z takeover thing about Nas's albums mostly being whack except for one. He said the same thing about Kendrick, saying the first one's class, last one's tragic or something like that.
Yeah, something.
So most people kind of looked at it like, really? I don't remember that happening when it was out.
Right.
But again, you're right, because at the end of the day, even though we didn't like it, if you feel like you literally cannot write a diss record and be fully committed to going at it with him and using all your skill and artistry, it's going to be subpar. It's not even a battle at that point. So it was good that he bowed out, because like I tweeted on April 8th, we want Aubrey anyway.
Yeah. So the next song, Ray, is what now? So J. Cole bows out. What's next up?
So next up, after J. Cole bows out, 21 days after Like That was Drake with Push-Ups.
Yeah.
A record that dropped and actually was pretty good to me when
not bad at all.
It was not bad. It was a nice response to that verse, man. And I think in a lot of ways, for those who don't know, it wasn't just about Kendrick, because there were a lot of other people like Metro Boomin and Future and Rick Ross, ASAP Rocky, who he took shots at.
But I wasn't mad at him though.
No, not at all.
Push-ups, man. You could tell it was the start of something. You could tell it was okay. Put my hand in here a little bit, throw a little jab, and I know the fight is gonna come, so I might as well throw this jab now. I know response is gonna come. Matter of fact, he was basically like he was waiting on it.
He was waiting on it.
You know what I'm saying? So Drake he threw that, get himself prepared. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I trained for this. You know what I'm saying? I was in the gym training for this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw this joint, put my hands up, get ready for you to swing back, and you know what I'm saying? I'm in tip-top shape. I'm feeling good, and Drake feeling good about himself. You know what I'm saying? So he's basically like, okay, your turn.
Right. It's probably, as we'll go through the battle, it's probably one of the records where he was the most confident to me. Like, his flow and his stature and his stance and the bars, and it was a dope record. It was a dope start, and just like you said, it wasn't just a song, right? Y'all who don't know, he was also on Instagram heavy.
Yeah, he was.
Where you at? This Compton College sweatshirt or sweater on, where you at? We ain't hear from you yet.
And you know what? That's the dope part about that thing too. And again, for some people, I hope a lot of people see this episode, because again, I had to post all this stuff of me saying about Drake, because I shared my thoughts on the battle as it was going on and several videos of my thoughts on it. It was all of a sudden I'm not being fair to Drake. No, I appreciate Drake, and I said that more than once. Even with his antics on IG, no doubt he was basically saying, "Come outside." So I'm not mad at that, because this is a new age of communication, obviously with social media, where as opposed to like 90s battles, there wasn't no social media. You know what I'm saying? So he did what he's supposed to do. He made himself known. He came outside and he asked Kendrick to come on outside. What's taking so long?
Right. Now, let me ask you this, because this is a hip hop history podcast, y'all. So we're going to talk about everything. In between that time when he was trying to get Kendrick to respond, fans debated what's the response time. What did you think about some people saying, yo, Kendrick got 48 hours. He got 24 hours.
Listen, man, what they did overall has been historic. But during that little period, that little time when everybody's saying, hey, he need to drop right now. You know what I'm saying? No. because we from the old school. So I'm not a microwave person. I like my meat to be in the oven, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there saying, so one thing I did post, I said, did some of y'all understand that back in the 90s, someone would diss, hell, when NWA dissed Ice Cube, Ice Ice Cube he waited till he dropped the death certificate. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And you didn't even know the song was on there until the end of the album and the shit came on. You know what I'm saying? So that shit like there was months and months after NWA had started poking at Ice Cube. And
Right.
even when you think about say for example, even the Nas and Jay-Z. Jay-Z said that shit at Summer Jam, then he dropped the takeover in September. Ether didn't come out to December the 4th, was Jay-Z's birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what happened. It took them several months. Now they had been throwing little shots before that, but after the takeover, Nas didn't say anything. Jungle have said on interviews, Nas wasn't even gonna say shit. He was kind of blew it off. You know, Nas laid back. He like, I don't care about that shit. And
Right.
and Jungle was like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? We can't let Jay-Z do that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the battles back then wasn't the next day. Even when a lot of the big battles in the early 2000s that we'll incorporate some to this episode, some of them, it might take a week or 2 or 3 weeks before that next response came out. So, but the microwave society now is like Drake says that, all right, man, Kendrick got to this weekend, and Kendrick got 48 hours. Dude, do y'all want somebody to put out a piece of shit, or you want them to sit down and craft something, which he did craft, and we're going to get into that crafting in a minute. You know, and craft out some real songs and some songs that's going to stick over generations of hip-hop, saying what we are talking about MC Shan and KRS-One 30 years later. You talking about Mo D and LL 30 years later. Siegel and Kiss 20 years ago, basically, almost. So all of this stuff, it's a reason why we talk about certain songs. We talk about Common and Cube. This is in the mid-90s, The Bitch and You. I'm in college. I'm almost 50. You know what I'm saying? That's when it came out. Trust me, and we're going to get into the historic significance of this. You want it where someone takes their time and makes some things where the next generation can say, hey, man, I remember. Do you remember that Drake and Kendrick Lamar battle? Because that's going to happen. People will get into that. But I didn't think nothing of it. I knew he was going to respond because he's been waiting for this. I was waiting for the time because for some people, you don't understand that Kendrick is a writer, okay? If you go back and listen to Section 80, and you go back and listen to Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, all this stuff, he's a writer. He's a well thought out person. He's a poet. So they're not going to rush their art. They're going to think it through. It's going to make sense to them, and they're going to release it. And so I was just waiting, and I didn't have a thought behind a time frame.
Right. Yeah, I was the same way, man. There's no way Kendrick been waiting this long to go mano a mano with this dude. He decides to be the one to be direct, and you think he's not going to respond, or he has to respond right away. That's new energy. Sometimes some cats could do that, want to do that, but Kendrick is a little bit different, as we'll learn. One other thing that wound up happening in the time that Drake was waiting for Kendrick to respond, he dropped another record.
Yeah.
But it's a little controversial because it's tied to a bunch of stuff that was happening. And Tone, I'm gonna get your thoughts on this. But he dropped a song called Tailor Made Freestyle, which featured AI versions of Tupac and Snoop, basically showing how they're disappointed in Kendrick. You know, he hadn't respond, he letting them down, blah blah blah. Drake also rhymes at the end of that. Eventually, it had to be pulled down because Tupac's estate said, no, we don't care what you did. His voice is intellectual property, IP. You can't use it. We will sue you. Now, were they really going to sue him? I don't think so. I think they just wanted him to take it down, so they threatened him. But Tone, that time was crazy right there, right? Because not only that Drake made that move, and I want to know what you think about that move in particular, but we were inundated with AI everything, AI Kendrick response, AI Drake this, just all this AI stuff, and people didn't know whether it was real or not.
Yeah.
What do you think about that element coming into play with a hip hop battle? Because that's new.
So first things first, I had tweeted around that time, I don't want AI interfering with hip hop at all. I think some people remember that tweet I did. Anyone that follows me who might be watching this episode, I don't like AI music because it takes away from the talent of musicians. We don't know what's real, what's not. So I don't want it around hip hop. Okay. Now that being said, there's one small part of me that said, "Damn, that shit was kind of creative." You know what I'm saying? Like the Pac shit, man, kind of going in, then Snoop, and then Drake, nice little verse at the end. I'm like, on one end, man, good song. You know what I'm saying? Not bad at all. You setting the battle off. You showing that, you said what you said on the first joint on push up, now doing tailor made. All right, Drake outside, like I said just now. So in that regard, I wasn't mad at it. On the other end, I don't like AI with music, so I don't want to hear that type of shit ever again. But just for creative purposes and the fact that he's still baiting and saying, come on, then in that regard, I'll say cool, not that mad at it. What I'm more mad at is being pulled by Pac State when, God bless the dead, Pac is gone, Afeni is gone. And from what I heard, and I could be wrong, somebody in the comment section can fact check and correct me, please. I don't think Tupac's sister owns his estate. So I think these other random people own Pac Estate, and that pisses me off even more because if that's true, I'm mad that his biological sister doesn't have his rights and the labor of his life. You know what I'm saying? And so that's another whole thing. Someone please, if you able to look into that and put that in the comment section, please do. But I don't think that his sister owns it, so it pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? So I wish they could have left it up. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's one of the things about music. Sometimes the wrong people own people's catalog.
Right.
And that's frustrating. But overall, I don't want AI music, but for the sake of the battle, it was creative.
Yeah, I thought it was creative. I think I would have liked it better if Drake would have spoke or rhymed from the perspective of them as opposed to inserting Tupac into a battle where he really ain't here to say whether he agrees with that or not.
Right.
I think that's kind of what the state's job is to say, maybe not forget permission, because for those who don't know, on To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick used actual audio recordings of Tupac to set up like a conversation with him, more like a mentor kind of conversation with him. Why Drake did what he did, but that he got the rights to do that with actual Tupac's voice, as opposed to somebody creating things. And the other thing I didn't like about it, and this ain't battle stuff, this is more things that affect people like Drake, who definitely has been a victim of it. They trying to get an actual law passed to prevent this, to protect artists from having people just use their image in different ways, use their voice.
And you have to, because that ain't good.
Right, it's not good. There's whole Drake albums on the internet. So I thought it was weird for him, who's been notorious behind the scenes, protecting himself, to do that with Pac. Like, it's different if Snoop give you permission.
That's right.
Say, hey, it is what it is. But nevertheless, it kind of knocked him down a peg, especially when he had to pull it. Because now it's like, well, damn, do we even count that at this point?
I counted though, because we heard it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So whether it disappeared or not, we heard it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's 2 tracks. But then we come to it's Kendrick's turn now. And I think that Euphoria is next, correct?
Yep. Euphoria was the first joint. 7 days after push-ups. So less time, y'all, who were keeping track of when to respond.
Yeah. And I heard that joint. Matter of fact, did you text it to me? Who texted me?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Somebody texted me. I remember that because I wasn't even online. And then I went on and I heard it and I was like, okay, now it begins. He was very direct.
Right.
I like the beat. I like the song, man. I like the sound. Man, I like Drake, but I'm a Kendrick fan in terms of I really rock with the layers of his music. And this was just a small glimpse of what I felt like was about to happen. When I heard Euphoria, I said, okay, I see the little layers that's a little bit different. Like Drake is a dope rapper. He can rap his ass off. He's witty, all this stuff. Kendrick goes somewhere different. There's different, and I ain't talking about who you think people think the best. But for me, Kendrick will go somewhere and do a how much a dollar costs, and you hear the damn meanings in that damn song. You're like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Drake don't give me the old shit. Drake give me that's dope, dope line, dope song. Kendrick give me he ain't just say that shit, did he?
Right.
So when I heard Euphoria, I started getting that feeling like this good. I know it's gonna keep going somewhere. What was your first thoughts when you heard Euphoria?
Same thing, man. Like I knew it was like the way it started at first. I was kind of like, okay, you know, he not going the straight BT Cypher route right out the gate. He's kind of taking his time with it. And one thing I was telling people who aren't the biggest Kendrick fans is on the surface, on the first listen, Kendrick can sound like he's just saying the most simplest things in the world. They don't jump out at you
Right.
at all. As you start to listen again,
Yep.
and things are revealed and you find out more, Euphoria was so layered with Easter eggs from the title,
Yep.
which was a title of a show that Drake was the producer of.
Yep.
And it was just so many other layers within the song where I was like,
yeah, it's never just surface level.
It's never surface. And you know, just for those who feel like, well, I don't want to try to figure it out, trust me, when you figure out one line, it leads you to the other.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
brilliant writer, man. He thinks it through.
Right. So yeah, I felt like it was on now. You know, it was on. Like he has a full song now, because prior to that, Drake basically dropped 2 songs and J. Cole had a song. Kendrick only had a verse. So now he has his first full song responding to them. And Euphoria was dope, man.
And then he comes back to back.
Back to back.
You know, and you know what? What was funny was I said, man, you know what? I was talking to one of my homies after Euphoria. I said, Kendrick gonna drop something else. But I said, I think he's gonna take a kind of a Drake concept and do like a timestamp song, man. Real talk. And then I get another text from somebody. Hey, man, Kendrick just dropped a song saying, I already heard Euphoria. No, it ain't the Euphoria, dog. It's like 616 in LA. I'm like, what? Yeah. He's like, man, Kendrick got a song called 616 in LA. I said, I'm going to log it on. I get on YouTube and I'm like, well, I get on Twitter and the link is there. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I listen. And I'm like, now it's real.
That was real.
Now it's real. And Drake got to respond to this. Because now it's real. This is a certified diss. You know what I'm saying? Euphoria is dope. Layers, whatever. It might even be a better song. But what I heard on 616, I like, now he's attacking Drake.
Now he's attacking him. And
now he's attacking.
What stood out to me the most was Euphoria was more of what you get from Kendrick today.
Yeah.
616 was like, okay, here's K-Dot over Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an Alchemist beat. And like we said before, layers, right? The cover is the OJ gloves with the Maybach music.
Maybach joint on it.
But the date, 6/16, Father's Day, the first day of the OJ trial. And ironically,
the date of
buried Nicole Simpson and Homeboy.
Yes, absolutely, man. So, and some guy on YouTube, when I end up listening to it again on YouTube, and I copied and pasted with his name so people know it's his, not mine, in one of my tweets. He listed all what you're saying and some other stuff. And I was like, and I can't recall everything, but it was several other things that was kind of coincide with that date. And I was like, damn, was he really that methodical? And he was, because when we get to the rest of these songs, I said, man, Kendrick a diabolical demon. I said on Twitter.
I have it here. So the song dropped exactly at 6:16
Okay.
p.m. on West Coast time, right? 16th of June is Father's Day in Canada, at least. 16th of June is also Tupac's birthday.
That might have been the other thing I couldn't remember.
Right. And the other ones we mentioned.
Yeah. That's
But
nuts, though.
that's rebuttals to Taylor Made, right? And the usage of
He
Tupac.
answering, and as you can see, people, what Kendrick was doing strategically is everything Drake did. He actually answered everything in detail,
Right.
and even so, and in hidden meanings.
Right.
But to decipher, so he actually was very meticulous with Euphoria and with 616 in LA. Now we sitting there like, okay, that's two
That's
in a
two.
row. How long it's gonna take? What is Drake gonna do? And surprisingly, hey man, Drake said, okay, I'll come back to that. I'll keep fighting. And what happens next, Vade?
Then Drake drops what I believe Joe Budden hinted at as nuclear, and Drake hinted at as hitting the red button. Family Matters. Not only is it a song, but it's a full-on video. He got the van from Kendrick's debut album, Good Kid, Mad City in it. They crushing it down at the junkyard. Got a G Unit spinner chain. He's in the restaurant in Toronto that was mentioned on Kendrick's song that actually got them a lot of business and reviews as a result. This is the kill shot for Drake. He knows it. You see it in the video. He already know it. Like, you're dead. This is it.
Hey, it was like the meeting of the mafia. Like, after we murdered him, we're gonna go eat some pasta and some drink some wine, because you remember at one part of the video, Drake's sitting there at the table with his people laughing. And let me say this, people, to Drake's credit, you talking about coming back after Euphoria and 616 in LA to do a high-end nice video, beat changing, middle part of the song, he starts spitting that old So Far Gone and Comeback Season Drake. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there like, my wife was walking down, she walked through, I said, Drake came back with something pretty dope. She looked not bad. He's spitting. And I was like, you know what? Is this the whole empty the clip out? I didn't know, but I was like, man, this is a dope song. You know what I'm saying? Like, but one thing he did in there, he went for the kill shot and he brought up Kendrick family.
Yes.
In the rhyme. And we're gonna get to that in a minute, the rebuttal, because again, Kendrick will break down what you did and he's gonna answer you. But man, just on surface level, Drake made a dope Drake song. You know what I'm saying? Video was good. He thought it out. And people, this is the dope thing about this battle. Like it or not, it's thought out. Both guys thought out what they were going to do. Whether you liked it or not is irrelevant. But they thought out what they was going to do and how they was going to execute. And I'm going to tell you, anybody else, Drake might have got them. It just they ain't Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Right. Same thing when the Locks was on the stage of Deep Set and they did a song and the camera went to Jada because he was like, that's good, but it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? And so it was kind of that. But man, I remember seeing the joint and my man hit me up, was like, yo, that's dope, T. I like, no, I'm not going to front because I ain't no BS dude. I posted. I said, yo, that Family Matter joint, that joint is dope. Drake went in. Then I said, now, this next song, there's a video of me on Twitter. I posted about 3 or 4 videos over several days. After Family Matter, I said, now what I feel like is going to happen is an ether type song is about to happen from Kendrick Lamar. It's on my page still right now. What I meant when I had to go back and explain to people who used to sleep in class when they was kids and don't pay attention to context, I said a song that will either attack Jay-Z. Like Nas said, make your soul burn slow. I said that Kendrick's going to have a song that was going to truly now answer this and attack him on some ether type of shit.
Right.
After that, what happens, Vake?
So real quick, when you're looking at the battle, they punching, right? They landing, and now Drake is starting to stand on his punches. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
starting to swing a little bit.
Oh
He's
yeah.
answering,
He
he's
throwing
answering
straight rights. He jabbing, throwing straight rights. He's
right. He's
pushing.
answering all his critics from Rick Ross to everybody.
Yeah.
Kendrick, he got the visuals,
Yeah.
but we not even gonna hold y'all for those who don't know. Literally, like 20 minutes later,
Didn't even let him breathe.
we didn't even get a chance to fully digest what Drake just put out. Kendrick drops Meet the Grams. And I ain't gonna lie, Tone. At first, I was like, "It's some AI," like, cause I couldn't help it, cause I was like, yo, Drake just dropped, like, literally just dropped.
Never seen nothing like it, man.
Kendrick drops Meet the Grams, and not only is it a rebuttal, but it's a checkmate in a lot of ways, because he flipped his Family Matters situation and everything he had to say and designed a record talking to each one of Drake's family members, including one that we did not know about.
You know what? I hit play. I listened to it. Right. This is true talk, babe. I listened to it in my living room by myself. Then I pushed pause. Came in here, got a drink. And I would have stood on my porch for a minute. Soaked it all in. I said, did I hear what the hell I just think I heard? So I'm sipping on something. I come back to the living room and I rewind it and play it again. And this is one of the most creative, most thought out, wildest diss records in hip hop history. I'm serious, y'all. This ain't hyperbole. I'll be 50 next year. I'm not just saying this. I done heard a lot of hip hop since way back. I had never heard someone basically write a letter to a family and say why your family's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's all Drake's fault. But I'm also blame the parents too, the way you raised them. But let me give Adonis some love though. Young King, you gonna be all right, but don't be like your dad though. You know what I'm saying? The way he worded, I had my wife come downstairs. I said, I want you to listen to this. She listened to it, and after it went off for my third time listening to it, she heard it that one time. She said, this, I don't think I heard nothing like that before. This is real, ain't it? What is this? And she liked Kendrick and Drake. She cool. She liked Kendrick a little bit more, but she was just like, this going somewhere I ain't expected to go, right? I was like, look, man, I'm still bewildered right now. I gotta listen to this shit one more time. I listened to that joint 4 times in a row, man. And I was just like, I'm still baffled, man. And a lot of people hit me. I'm talking about probably 100 people hit me on Twitter that I swear said, Tony, your video aged like fine wine. It's all on my page right now, people. Everybody that said came to my page, your videos aged like fine wine. That damn Meet the Grams, man. After Family Matters, you don't even let that song and video. That's a dope song and video. This is unprecedented in hip hop history. Nobody has ever, not even a freestyler in 2005 on Hot 97 happened this fast. Nobody ever crafted a song and released a song less than 30, 45 minutes after a big artist dropped a big song and video. Kendrick was back on his ass.
Right.
And Meet the Parents, man. When I think about hurtful, the shit that he said in that song, I know Drake, and I know Drake, he responded. We'll get to that in a minute. That type of song, you sat there, it bothered you to the point where when Drake responded, he called Kendrick a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because when I heard Meet the Grams, that's when I posted, Kendrick is a diabolical demon.
All right.
Because who the hell does some shit like that, man? I was like, he went low. I mean, the insults, the stuff he said he told his mom basically chill, listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Like he writing to the son, to the mom, to the dad, and to a child who we don't know about. And yeah, there's nothing confirmed about that. But in battle, like I tell people, Jay-Z didn't call Nas crib and ether. You know what I'm saying? But that's what battling is. There's going to be certain parts of the battle just to piss you off. It ain't got to be real. It's to piss you off. You know what I'm saying? Art of war. Destroy your opponent, man. You know what I'm saying? So I got to push your nerves. You know what I'm saying? I got to call you these names. I got to go as low as I'm trying to bury you. This is what battling is all about. You know what I'm saying? When Ja Rule was going through and Irvin was going through the Murder Inc. situation with Preem and all them, the feds and all that, what was 50 Cent and G Unit trying to do? 50 Cent was trying to bury this nigga.
Trying to finish them.
You know, he's trying to finish him up. He already having legal problems, financial problems now because of the case and all that. You think 50 Cent cared? He did not. He's like, you know what? This is the art of war. And 50 Cent talked about the art of war before just in his lifetime. He see the opponent is weak, you step on it, you go ahead and destroy him. You know what I'm saying? So for me, after I think that Kendrick saw that Family Matters, that's good. But before I let these cats start overrating Drake's situation in this song and all that, I'm gonna step on them again.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about that? Like, I was watching, NBA playoffs, and just popped on Twitter to talk specifically about the playoffs. And that's how I caught the Drake joint. So, I'm not only watching the video, I'm looking at the conversation, and it's Drake heavy, right? He killed them. This is ill, blah, blah, blah. And before I could even digest my own thoughts, I start creeping up. Yo, Kendrick dropped another one.
Absolutely. The excitement, man, was, you know what, man? This was so epic for hip hop. Because again, Drake being the artist that he is, when he drops that song, people start doing reaction videos immediately after that. Like you said, YouTube, Twitter, IG, Drake is back. Drake done got off. He did his thing and da-da-da-da. And like you said, man, I enjoyed the song, saw the video. I don't know what else I was doing, man, but I swear one of my homies that live about an hour away texted me like, Kendrick just dropped another song. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, dog, Kendrick got a song called Meet the Grams out right now. I said, dog, you talking about the Family Matters Drake? He's like, no. Kendrick got a new song, dog. I go back online again because I'm looking at TV. And I'm like, this shit is insane. And that's when I listened to it. Now that's when I heard it, went outside. I couldn't believe it, man. Like, what is going on, man? I was like, the excitement that I had, and yeah, it was some low blows by both guys, but I'm enjoying the art of war. I'm just like, these guys are giving you everything. Like, we don't get this in hip hop like this, man. You know what I'm saying? So when he did that joint, I was like, then I was kind of like, for me personally, and this is when my back and forth with a lot of people on Twitter happened over that night, that next day. I said, for me, if this is the end, oh yeah, Kendrick got him, dog. And I like Drake. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Euphoria, 616, and Meet the Grams.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's it. And I said, and I like Drake Jones. I said, but this is just a different level of demonic shit that Kendrick got going on. And he got him, dog. And it's okay. I told a couple guys who attack him, I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's over, my nigga, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay, man. Like, it's battle rapping. We hear.
But then what happens? Not too many.
Well, real quick, let me just add one thing.
Yeah.
So people know, as far as the context.
Yeah.
Kendrick was already setting a lot of this up. Don't tell no lies about me. Don't tell no truths about you.
Yeah, that's right.
He said that in advance. He also said, cease and desist to the Like That record. What, you didn't like that record? Back to back. I like that
record.
I'll get back to that record.
Yeah.
With the back to back the same day. So again, like you
said,
when you listening to Kendrick, sometimes it just sounds like he's rapping.
And he's not just rapping.
Not just rapping.
He's methodical, man.
Right. He's, like you said, he's a demon. Somebody said something. Matter of fact, shout out to the dudes who be doing the comedy skits. It was like, yo, he like Batman. Like, before you figured him out, Batman already standing behind you.
He already on some ready to stab you.
Crazy.
Like, yeah,
But
man. Yeah.
what happened next
Oh boy.
was that was already a glorious night.
It was glorious.
That Friday was just crazy. But Saturday night. Now, for me, Tone, shout out to the homie. We on the phone. We breaking down the battle. We talk about Meet the Grams and blah, 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 because we hadn't talked about any of this. While I'm on the phone,
Lord have mercy.
just to text me, Kendrick dropped another one, Not Like Us. And I'm like, wait, you mean Drake? Like, no, Kendrick did. Me and Ak had to get off the phone. We like, yo, let's just get off, listen. And Tone, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. People who know me, obviously, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I love my city and town, but I also love particularly old school traditional West Coast hip hop, especially the sound. When I heard Not Like Us, I was like, that's it. This battle's over. This is a bop. Like this battle is over.
This is the victory lap.
This is the victory lap. We are dancing on your grave at this point. Tone, when you heard Not Like Us, like what space were you in when you even found out that he dropped it?
Bro, I'm sitting there looking at TV, chilling, man. You know what I'm saying? And my homie that sent me 616, he texts a lot of music to me and my other homie all the time. We talk about music all the time. I get a text, I'm looking, and he's like, yeah, dog, it's on again. I'm like, what? So I'm like, he's like, link coming up. So a couple seconds later, hit the link. He said, hit this, dog. So I'm like, wait a minute. So, yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, dog. Not Like Us. I hit the song. And I was like, this is some 1992 West Coast shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the bop. And I'm like, it's some Oakland shit. I said, I can hear E40 on the remix of this shit. And I was playing and I was like, this dude done created a West Coast anthem. And I typed that on Twitter after I heard it the first time. All this on my page off from last weekend. I said, Kendrick done fucked around and created a West Coast anthem. And right after that, I'm talking about 30 minutes after that, there were videos of people all on the West Coast, gang members and everything, dancing to this shit. I'm talking about within an hour of this shit hitting the streets. Cats was doing their thing on the. I said, not only did he make a West Coast anthem, this about to be a West Coast classic. They're gonna play in the club. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that night, this dude from LA who follows me sent me the video. He's like, yeah, they're in the club right now, over in LA doing it right now. He was in LA. You know what I'm saying? And he sent me the video, the DJ playing Not Like Us in LA that night in the club. I said, dog, the battle is over. I know y'all crying. They start crying all on my page, babe. I said, dog, the dude just did 616, Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us in the fucking weekend.
In the weekend.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about, people?
And look, for those, who listen to rap, but especially for those that write, you're talking about three different vibes, rebuttals, entendres, body in this dude. Like, it's unheard of.
Unheard of. Never in hip-hop history has an MC, two top MCs, one of them dropped 4 different type of songs. Because most of the time when people battle, it's the same vibe in each of their disses for the most part. You knew kind of what they expect. Beat might be a little bit different, but the focus is kind of the same.
Right.
Kendrick comes from 4 different type of angles, and you have to at a giant like Drake in music. Drake is a giant in music. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like him or not, whether you feel like he's popping all this other bullshit, he's an MC too, and he showed it over the weekend, over the last week or two. He's an MC as well. You know what I'm saying? But I've never seen anyone attacked like this to the point like, I'm going to use these type of samples, then I'm going to use this type of flow, then I'm going to make this type of song right here, breaking down your family, then I'm going to take you out to the damn club because I know that's what you want to do. Yeah. So who came out of this with the club banger was the person you didn't expect. The Cerebral dude has the club banger. You know what I'm saying? Even though Drake has the good songs, his joint he ain't on Spotify in the clubs. right now. And look, all of these different media spaces are posting him being not like us is number one on all these different streaming services. He's created a classic song. And like I said before on Twitter the other day, most legendary battles, something classic comes out of it. So for anybody on here who want to cry about this battle, Kendrick did that for the next generation. Not like us, it's going to be played at high school games, the beat, bands, joints going to be playing at college, clubs, in the streets. The street niggas already crip walking to it. It's a classic now. It's a West Coast classic that came out of this battle. You know what I'm saying? And it came out of a battle that also had 3 other songs that's nothing like this. So yes, that was the victory lap, even though Drake, we'll talk about in a minute, decided, am I really giving up? Maybe sort of, I don't know, but I got something else to drop. But a classic dropped.
Yeah, and right in time for the summer. Like just a song of the summer type style record. And just for the context for some people, when it came to the YouTube views of both their songs, their songs that would come out, in a lot of ways, let's just go to the first one because I checked it in real time when I went and checked push-ups, right? And so it was at 500K views. This was around the time of Euphoria. And I checked Euphoria, which had dropped that day, and it was at 1 million. Now, at some point, they both really went up to like 7 and some crazy numbers. But even on the charting side, Euphoria just went gold. But Not Like Us is climbing. At one point it had 4 million streams in a day, which was a record. Then the next day he broke that record with 7 million streams in a day. That's the metric. Within a day, how many streams? Not total. It's gonna be bananas once we see at the end of the year. But right now, 7 million plus within hours, right? So yeah, man, it's crazy how that happened because one thing that we know that I remember probably mostly from the Jay-Z and Nas thing was when Jay-Z was king in New York, like for real.
Yeah, no doubt.
Radio, all the records, like he was dominating radio, he was dominating the mind share. Once Ether came out and I happened to go home around that time, all you heard was that Stillmatic album. Everywhere on the radio, like he literally replaced Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the people deciding who won. It's
absolutely
the same thing here. All you got to do, I didn't see white people making TikTok videos,
absolutely,
in all kinds of other countries in Toronto, outside of the Chinese restaurant where they were eating. I think it's Chinese, or I'll just say Asian. Outside of that restaurant, college students making a video with Not Like Us playing in the 6.
It's everywhere, man. I'm gonna tell you, crazy. My little man hit me in high school. He's like, yeah, I like Not Like Us. You know what I'm saying, my son. So then other day, just randomly, my wife called me. She commuting. She had a meeting. She's like, man, I had that Not Like Us on repeat. You know what I'm saying? Like just random. This is my own family. You know what I'm saying? The 2 people in the house. It's just random shit. You know what I'm saying? But like I told this one dude wanted to debate me back and forth on Twitter the other day. I said, dog, he's like, I guess you the expert on hip hop, right? About who won this battle. I said, it ain't about me, it's about the people. The people have spoken. I said, you see what's going on right now. Go to IG, go to TikTok, go to the streaming stuff and see who breaking all these records. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Don't get mad at me about it. Drake lost. Okay? It's okay. I didn't decide that. The people decide that. Just like you said in New York, people can say what they want to, but the people decided that Nas was victorious. Right. These are facts. You ain't got to listen to us. The people talking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what it is. So, I mean, that weekend was epic. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, let's go into, Drake had one more in the chamber.
Yeah, considering what we felt about the record, the movement that was happening at the time, Drake was like, I got one more in me. I got one more blow in me. and he dropped a record that was a play on a series that Kendrick does called The Heart 6,
Mm-hmm.
which is in line because the last one
It's
Kendrick did,
5.
Part 5.
The hard 5, yeah.
And he
Which is
used,
very dope, matter of fact. But anyway, go ahead.
right. So that's kind of a rebuttal because he used the timestamp thing, or
Yeah,
Kendrick used the timestamp thing.
yeah.
Uh,
Which is
but
creative for
it's
Drake.
right, and it's rebuttaling a lot of different things that was already said. Some of which we'll get into after this because there's a question I want to ask you, Tone, about judging battles. Um, but I think most of us, because Not Like Us kind of put a cap on the battle, and what Drake did, because he was spitting like Drake,
He was spitting.
not 21 Savage rhyming. You know what
He
I'm
was
saying?
spitting. He was spitting.
On the
Comeback
beat,
season Drake.
but he sound a little defeated because in several occasions throughout his lyrics, he contradicted himself. He said things that probably wasn't the best thing to say. If somebody calling you a pedophile, you don't say, like the one tweet I saw, if I'm a liar, why aren't my pants on fire? Like, dog, you don't even acknowledge it in that way. Bringing up Millie Bobby Brown when nobody brought up Millie Bobby Brown, but we know about you and Millie Bobby Brown. It just, and then at the end sounded like, yo, you probably got 10 more songs. I don't want to do this. After begging him to
For the
respond,
smoke.
now you tied.
Yeah, I think that
Look
that
good.
was damage control. Don't get me wrong, like the beat, he was spitting on it, but what he was spitting, if you go back and do the knowledge on, because I know at the beginning when it first dropped, the Drake fans was like, he won again, he's back up again. I don't know what they were talking about because that was craziness. But I think he dropped a good record, yes. And I said that. I said it was dope. You know what I'm saying? But not dope enough. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it ended up being damage control. I'm saying I'm rebutting all the stuff that you said about me. He talked too much at the end, sound like he was giving up, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I'm exhausted now. Basically, you're gonna keep doing all this shit. I don't want to do this shit no more. Than I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where it came off. Even some of his own fans said that, but there are some of the fans who just anything he do, they're gonna say he won, which obviously the people have spoken, hip hop have spoken. Anybody watching this who might not like what I'm saying, it don't matter because hip hop spoke. This ain't Tony the Dome saying it. Hip hop did it.
And Tony, it's no different from what we witnessed with Jay-Z and Nas. There were people who were just hanging on, like who continue to hang on, who feel like, nah, Jay-Z won because of, Nas was all lies and all of that. But like
Yeah,
you said,
or he won because he did a joint venture with Def Jam, or he won because Jay-Z got more money, or whatever the case may be. So the excuses, and I said this on Twitter and videos, the excuses, but numbers don't lie. Since y'all always want to use, and that's what I posted the other day with that, where we Not Like Us went up like number one on some service streaming. It's like y'all the ones use numbers for Drake and Eminem. Y'all do that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't ask for that, but every time somebody talks about Drake, it's about his success. It's about his numbers. It's about his streaming. Well, Kendrick beat him in his own game. He out creativity. He had more creativity with the songs. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a deeper thinker, which we all know that. So he beat him on that end. Then he beat him on streaming. Then he got a club banger. So how did he not win the fucking battle? That's all I'm saying. That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. And honestly, it's typical for people when they debate and they don't want to accept defeat because they're so invested in what they believed in. So
Oh
now,
man, did you see what? Did you see that? Did you see? Did you see when I retweeted your boy Maul? Him about to damn have a nervous breakdown because of and he's defending Drake harder than academics was.
yeah,
Which is
right,
crazy.
right. And at least
What do you?
academic, when it came time to show that he was being fair and stuff like that, he didn't really wane in one way, like just completely Drake. What Maul did was the most moist shit I've ever seen in my life because,
It was disgusting.
like, dog, are you on payroll? Are you the
I mean,
guy?
if you don't watch this video without him, if you don't watch this video with the sound off, he looked like he was crying about the family member that passed away.
He definitely was crying inside. Like,
I mean, I was like, God damn, dude, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
but
Well,
it's,
look, let
it's,
me ask you this since it's related. So, if y'all ain't here before, at this point, we feel like even with Drake's response, which was cool, but he kind of like he downplayed it, so it just was like waving a white flag in a lot of ways. What do you think? Because this is what I believe, and we all know. Battle rap is about judging how you say things, not what you say, but how. What you say plays a role, but it's how you say it. Pass his body like Stockton, like pass on his body like bars like that you catch.
yeah.
They should resonate with you when you hear them, right? Not necessarily accusations. What happened with this battle, Tone, and you saw it, is that it became with the fans a debate over the accusations. Is Kendrick a wife beater? Is Drake a pedophile? Right? But in the realm of a battle, sure, saying things about somebody, saying somebody got a daughter or whatever is cool, but it's about the work you put in with the bars. What do you think about the fact that there was this much confusion with quote unquote hip hop fans to judge accusations versus skills?
Well, you know what, man? We're in a sensitive society right now. Social media, a lot of people have their own feelings about words because words now are different. He, she, her. You know what I mean? Everything is different now. Um, People are more emotional about things now. They take it to heart more than just art. You know, and what I mean by that is for hip hop heads, for example, most hardcore hip hop battles, the two dudes are talking about fucking shooting each other.
Yeah,
Yeah, same
pretty
thing I said to somebody the other day. Why are you crying, but you love the Kiss and Siegel and all these other guys' battles, but half of the rhymes is about when I see you it's taking two shots to you and your crew. You know what I'm saying? You talking about black on black violence, basically, but y'all okay with that because the bars are up to par, right? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Or even back in the day, you had rhymes DJ Cook against MC8. You know, you talking about gang affiliation in rhymes, you know what I'm saying? Or the shit that Pac said. And people know I'm hard on Pac because I love Tupac. People don't understand. I'm one of the biggest Tupac fans you'll know. I got everything Tupac. You know what I'm saying? But yes, Pac said foul shit that y'all love. Now, y'all love hit him up, right? We talking about he fucked this man's wife, right? No facts in that, but you love that. You love when he said, don't want these niggas got sickle cell or something. You know what I'm saying? Or my 4-4 make up. I'm sure all y'all kids don't grow. What the fuck we talking about, y'all? So yeah, Kendrick and Drake, they took low blows because that's always been what hip hop is. So this shit that Questlove, like, oh, hip hop is dead. The way people's gossip now, where these battles are now. No, Questlove, y'all the same niggas that did what they do and this New York, this Biggie in the video, having little images of the dude in the bed and all the stuff like that. I know Black Thought lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was dissing. Y'all the same niggas also did the Unplugged with Jay-Z and did Takeover live after, you know what I'm saying, Nas and Jay-Z been battling for months. You know what I'm saying? After you heard Super Ugly on a radio station and Jay-Z say he put condoms on Nas' baby fucking mama's baby seat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, don't get high and righteous now because you did that. So if hip hop is dead, why are you still doing all these podcasts, making all this money off hip hop? You know what I'm saying? That's what I said online tonight. And I don't care if Questlove see it or anybody else see it. And I saw a lot of comments. So whatever. So nah, dog. What they said is what they said. That's war. That's battle. Most of these battles was about people killing each other. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, some of it low, sure. That's part of the game. Part of the game. But let me say this real quick about a line that I posted tonight. When Kendrick said, what did he say right here? Beat your ass and hide the Bible of God watching. Let me say that again, people. Kendrick said, beat your ass and hide the Bible of God watching. That's that thing. You can interpret it however you want to interpret it, but that's the layers of Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, what I'm doing. I can look at it as him saying, what I'm doing to you, I'm committing a sin. You know what I'm saying? Or however you want to interpret it, man. You know what I'm saying? But the things that Kendrick said, Drake said slick shit, right? Kendrick went low because there's something there with Kendrick where there's truth in everything. And what I mean by that is, do I think he's a pep? No, bro. Do I think he think he's a weirdo into that Hollywood shit? Yeah. I don't think Kendrick think that Drake is damn nothing like he look with little no kids, nothing. But I think that his aggression towards all that is, dude, you still a weirdo. You the type of nigga that be at Puff Party or something like that. That's to me, that's what he's saying. That's why he said in the other song, I've been in the industry all these years. You a weirdo like them, basically. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what he was doing, man. And yeah, man. I mean, but this society is, you know what I'm saying, so many different agendas. And also, you know, when your guy is losing, I'm gonna take everything the other person do and make it offensive and make it more than what it is. But if Drake so-called will have the club banger right now, had the number one shit on like Spotify and all the stuff like that, it wouldn't matter what he said. It don't matter that he said that Kendrick beat his damn wife. But ain't no facts in that either. So same way, ain't no facts that you did some underage. Ain't no facts that we ain't never seen no picture of Kendrick's wife and no police report that he beat his wife up.
Right.
So all's fair in love and war.
Right. All we have, if we're gonna entertain the accusations in these rhymes, all we have from Kendrick is him defending a rumor years ago on a Breakfast Club, and some other random video with a couple of people who look like it's just really difficult to believe. I don't know where somebody dug that up from. Talking about an incident with Kendrick and a woman that they did not see, but they heard.
Right.
It was about him doing whatever. Now with Drake, it's where there's smoke, there's fire. So what Kendrick is using to make accusations towards Drake is things that you can go watch right now on YouTube, on stage, talking to a 17-year-old girl, right? Saying, "Oh, you too young. If you weren't, blah blah blah," and then kissing her, right? You can say, "Oh, but that was no, man." Aaliyah was a long time too, but we still feel the same way about R. Kelly and his transgressions, right? The N-word, right? Yo, how he gonna tell him that he not black? He said he don't like the way you use the N-word.
Yeah.
Well, you can find a video online of Drake using the N-word in a way that no one who uses it, like us, has never used it like that.
It ain't how the ER did it.
Oh, you never seen the video?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I was being sarcastic, but it had the ER, huh?
It had the ER, like
we don't do that.
It's an early video of Drake, and this isn't exactly the line he says, but this is how he says the word, right? Like, yeah, so me and my niggers, I don't know anybody, especially black, even half black, Puerto Rican, whatever, that has had to start at that point with the word and graduate to nigga or whatever.
And that's why Drake, that's why Kendrick said on one of the songs, what I'm saying is what the culture is already saying about you.
It's already out there. Y'all don't have to believe us. We don't have to put the link in the description. It's out there. That's what leads to it. Just like the daughter thing, the things are out there. Like, you know, they weren't really exposing everything to a T, but it's because it's out there, not because Kendrick said so. And that's kind of the difference between, you know, and I get it. Some people going back to the original statement and question, hip-hop battles are about the skills, the context of what they saying and all of that. It could all be lies. Some of it could be lies, some of it could be true. It doesn't matter. It's all about how you say it, the music. And Kendrick just did a better job with his material than Drake did. Drake wasn't terrible. He's not whack as a result. He just lost this one, and that's fine. That's okay. But
look, man, when Cigarette Leonard and Marvin Hagler fought, or when Ali and Frazier fought, or whatever the case may be, somebody won, somebody lost, but they both walked away as champions. You know what I'm saying? And Drake still got his fan base. Kendrick got his fan base. You know what I'm saying? Some people like us like both. Contrary to popular belief, I like hip hop more than I like anybody individually. So if you're making some good music, I'm gonna rock with you. But let me say this real quick. I think you're just gonna get to at some point. Well, how do we look at this in historical context?
Yep.
You want me to go there?
Yeah. So just real quick for the people,
What?
like, we talking about this particular battle, but now that we think, or at least we feel, it's over, how does this battle rank against other battles within the history of hip hop? And is there a top 5 battle rap song or even top 10 within this battle?
You want me to kind of address?
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, and I know some people ain't gonna want to hear this because we, especially people our age or our era, nostalgia gets the best of us, right? So I'm going to explain something. This is one of the top 5 battles in hip hop history, people. Okay, I'm going to talk about this right now, and then we're going to tweet about it at some point. This is why, because this is one of the few times where the two top people of the culture have an extensive battle. When I say extensive battle, now you drop a song, I drop a song, and we throw subliminals maybe on our albums a year or two later, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? This is a battle where one guy dropped 4 songs, 3 of them in a weekend. One of them is number 1 on a streaming. Basically, these songs are charting and going like gold and shit, platinum type shit. Drake dropped several songs out of this whole battle. There's like 8 songs.
Mm-hmm.
7 to 8 songs in a week or two. Let me say that again. In a week or two, basically, there's like a total of almost 8 songs. No battle in hip hop history they have freestyles, a song here, a song there. Nobody has 7 to 8 songs to this degree outside of Nas and Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Because people look at Nas and Jay-Z, which is, to me, was the number 1 battle in hip hop history. You know what I'm saying? People look at it as Ether and Take Over, Super Ugly, whatever. But they had several freestyles that Come and Get Me, all these songs. You know what I'm saying? People Talking, Still Man a freestyle, Eye for an Eye freestyle, a lot of joints. But Drake and Kendrick, a top 5 battle. This is the reason why. And when KRS-One beat MC Shan, KRS-One might have been one of the top MCs of the era, but MC Shan wasn't. MC Shan was the man in Queensbridge and a famous New York rapper, but he wasn't over the whole culture. And Chris was brand new. You know what I'm saying? LL was the biggest rapper in the world at one point, battling Kumo D. So you can name that as one of the top 5 ones. You know what I'm saying? Quick and 8, they were West Coast legends, but not a part, not bigger than the whole culture like this situation. I know nostalgia, y'all, but Drake and Kendrick is equal to like what LL was when he was battling, or equal to Nas and Jay-Z when they battle. That's what they are right now. Just for context, Kendrick and Drake is Nas and Jay-Z. So as big as that was for us, people in late 40s, 50s, whatever, in 2001, that's how big this battle was in hip hop this year in 2024. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the top 5 biggest runs as far as like battles, babe, and the way they released this music, you know what I'm saying? The way they set the industry on fire. When was the last time the industry was on fire like this? This is bigger than 50 Cent and Ja Rule. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent was huge. You know what I'm saying? Ja Rule was starting to cool off, so he wasn't the number 1 guy no more because Jay-Z and DMX was bigger than Ja Rule at the time. Nobody's bigger than Kendrick, and nobody's bigger than Drake. That's my point of saying this. Anybody who might be our age or younger or older, think about a time in hip-hop history where the 2 biggest people, meaning nobody's bigger than them. When does that happen in hip-hop? You can't really name it. You can't really name it. LL at one point was a GOAT, but Mo Deep was on the downside of his career. You know what I'm saying? Again, who else? 50 Cent was on the rise to take over hip hop at the time, but Ja Rule reign had ended. You know what I'm saying? So there is no battle bigger than this outside of, you want to consider Nas and Jay-Z. And real quick for context, when I said on Twitter the other day, Biggie and Pac really wasn't a hip hop battle, it was hip hop beef. You know what I'm saying? A battle is two MCs exchanging songs, freestyle skills. Yeah, you can say Biggie shot some subliminals, but that was after Hit 'Em Up, after Pac created the beef after the Quad Studio. It wasn't a traditional rap battle. And by the time Biggie Pac was gonna start some of that shit on After Life After Death, he was dead. Pac was dead. So they didn't really get a chance to truly battle. So their names is bigger than the battle was. The beef is bigger than what a battle could be with Biggie and Pac in the way they died. But in terms of traditional hip hop battles outside of Nas and Jay-Z, this could be the biggest battle in hip hop history in the whole totalitarian of the situation. Like it or not.
I agree. I think it comes if you when you're talking about the status, because I was telling my brother something similar, when it came to like KRS-One and Shan, I felt like that's probably more local, like MC8 and DJ Quick.
It really was.
Right, like it was big because we were in New York City.
Yeah, this is global now, but people, it's the nostalgia of the KRS-One and MC Shan. That was, at the end of the day, that was a local battle. That shit didn't affect Compton, just like
that's a local joint. And
Compton battle, the Compton battle didn't affect New York when 8 and Quick was battling. But some people didn't. Yeah, they didn't even know. But this one right here, like I said, first of all, it created. So to your point, history will show how large Not Like That is. You know what I'm saying? Because I said it's a West Coast anthem, a West Coast classic already. It could potentially end up being a top 5, top 10 battle song in rap history because it's going to transcend over, again, streets, clubs. It's doing all this stuff right now. It's just as big right now as any other single hip hop battle track. Look what it's doing. It's creating dances in the street. Gang members rocking to it. The clubs, high school and college sports games, TikTok. It's a global song now already. And a lot of our hip hop battle songs we love didn't go global like that.
Right. And look, in a lot of ways too, probably the only other battle that had, at least the opponents had a high status at the same time, was probably Ice Cube and NWA, because NWA was still hot. It just, they never released another album after that second one.
They were still hot, you know what I'm saying? And even me being down south, we rock with Ice Cube and NWA, but for me it was short-lived because NWA threw some shots. Ice Cube dropped No Vaseline, and again, the other big song during that time for that battle was NWA, and especially MC Ren on Real Niggas. You know what I'm saying? Real Niggas was vicious. You know what I'm saying? Right. And if Ice Cube wasn't as dope as he was, Real Niggas would have buried him. You know what I'm saying? Because Ren got off on Real Niggas. That's one of those underrated diss songs in hip hop history from NWA, Real Niggas. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who don't remember that joint, put that in YouTube and check it out. But yeah, man, when you look at the full context of this, I think you are going to get, I think that Not Like Us is the apex of the battle in terms of notoriety. It is the song that people will play on the West Coast and in hip hop in general for years to come. Even though Family Meet the Grams is the ether type song to me in terms of the attack, the psychological attack. Not Like Us is the victory lap that even casual rap fans can appreciate. And once you're able to do something like that, I mean, you did something special, man. So I would say it's gonna end up in the top 5, top 10 diss song in rap history, if not already. I'll say that this battle is a top 3 ever in the culture because the whole, when you look at it, the total perspective of this battle and what it means to hip hop and who they are right now in their career. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is truly some epic shit, man. And I think that, you got some haters saying, it's all mid, it's all whack. I don't care nothing about all that nonsense. What these guys did, even outside of some of the low-blow insults, to respond back and forth to each other like that with this aggression and focus and detail, and even with Drake doing the AI, it was creative, like it or not. They did a lot of stuff in this battle and made a lot of different types of songs, man, for the fans and for their fan base, man. truly an epic time, man. We won't see two people at the top at this level for another whole generation. See, this don't happen every year. This don't happen every 5 years. We talking about we'll be old men this time this shit happen again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me ask you this question. So, for the devil's advocate side of things, this battle in particular is also amplified because of social media. Like you didn't have a tool like that because battles back in the days, even Jay-Z and Nas, we relied heavily on radio and
yeah,
sometimes
internet was there, but it was new. Internet was new.
yeah, it was like, chat rooms and stuff like
Yeah, it
that.
was.
It didn't have the ability to spread as quick and be as available. Like for example, you record a disc record, it goes right up. It's you feeding it directly to the public, and everybody has access because mostly everybody has a phone or some device to get to that record right away. Whereas before, it was like tune-in time. If you didn't have Napster or anything like that, it
Yeah.
was like, yo, I gotta listen to the hip hop show and hope they play it, or I gotta turn on the radio to see if they play it, or maybe it's on a mixtape, stuff like that. So I think that in some ways it's a little bit amplified, but if you take the crowd out of it, the work they put in and the amount of time, quality work in a lot of ways, because
Yeah.
Drake did a video in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's top 3 easy to
Easy,
me.
man. And to your point, just to kind of rebuttal the devil advocate part of this is the era we live in. So in life, man, any aspect of life, people say, oh man, well, let's say the NBA or NFL right now. Well, supplements are better now. Food is better now. People got private chefs now. People got these state-of-the-art gyms and stuff like that. Well, okay, that's fine. Because this is the era, this is the time we like that time in hip-hop, this is that time in life in the world that we live in right now at this moment. So yeah, it amplifies it, but this is the new world. You know what I'm saying? So all we can do is base it on this is the time we living in, man. That other people tried to battle during the internet era. It didn't flame like this. You know what I'm saying? So we can only look at the days of our lives, right? These are the times where this is the era we live in. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we got football now. 10,000 years ago, they was in the damn Coliseum. You know what I'm saying? So
you could tackle any way you want now. Protect the quarterback. Can't go for their legs. So,
let me say one more thing real quick too. Somebody asked me the other day after the last Drake Part 6, what's next for Kendrick? What is Kendrick gonna do next? I said, well, I felt like not like us with the victory lap, but to put a little bit of icing on the cake, go ahead and drop a Not Like That video in Compton on the West Coast. Have what I'm saying, little cameos from E40 and all these guys from the Bay. Have the boys out doing their dance in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Really get it in. Have a show a little piece in the club with getting it in. Go ahead and finish your victory lap with Not Like Us video, man. So I honestly think that's what Kendrick working on right now. I could be totally wrong. I think that he's gonna do a Not Like Us video, and I think at some point this year we are going to get a Kendrick Lamar album, and I think that it will be more on the line. I think he's in a zone right now. So I feel storytelling Kendrick coming back, not conscious to Pimp a Butterfly. I think some Good Kid, Mad City Kendrick is coming back with a little bit of damn in it, man. So that's what I'm expecting, man. I'm expecting an amazing album from Kendrick Lamar this year because he did that Mr. Morale as his own, like Marvin Gaye, Here My Dear. That was his therapy session. That was him getting all his emotions and feelings out and stuff like that. And now I think he's going back to some K-Dot shit.
And honestly, it would be on brand, right? Because Good Kid, Mad City's first. To Pimp a Butterfly is highly conceptual. Then Damn is more like Good Kid, Mad City. Mr. Morale is more like To Pimp a Butterfly with the concept. So it would be on time to.
It would be on time.
Another joint. And I agree. I think we're going to get an album because it's been like 2 years. And I think it's crazy if they don't do a video. Like it has to. It's just too. Even if you do a video, just grabbing reactions and what I'm saying, TikTok videos, and
people are doing those right now, like fan made.
Right. and it makes it more of what it is. It's more of a community record. All right, let me ask you this last joint. Uh, where does battling in, as far as I guess mainstream artists like this, go from here? Because they kind of set a bar now that's not just record for record. They did a bunch in this back and forth that, are we going to feel like the next battle that maybe, some two guys who can go? Are we going to feel a little cheated if they only like he do a song, and then that's it?
You know what? First of all, good question. Second, this is what legends do. You know what I'm saying? They set a precedence each era. Most times, the legends set up what's to follow. And whether people like people or not, Drake is a legend in music. Kendrick
Mhm.
Lamar is a legend in music. They got so many different records and stuff that people will be able to look at later and say, damn, they set a lot of records when they was at the apex of their career. They legends in the game. So yes,
Right.
what they did was legendary. Yes, anyone who battles after them, you can't just release a song and then release another song a month later. Unfortunately, what they did now was push it up where if you're gonna battle, you better start writing. You better start writing several songs at a time so you'll be ready for your rebuttal. That means if you got beef with somebody and you know you're gonna set it off with them, go ahead and write 3 songs over the weekend. Just write them. Because when that dude will send a song at you, you better be ready to send another song right back at him. And if that dude send a death blow to you, you better do what Kendrick did and not even let that shit breathe. And an hour later, you need to be uploading, or your producer need to be uploading that shit online. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it did change. I think it will. Now, how better or worse, I don't know. Will people start rushing in battles and putting some trash out? You know what I'm saying? Or will they still take their time and give it 2 or 3 days to make sure they think it out, get the right beat, have the right flow, and be in pocket, or will they rush? I think it's going to do a little bit of both. For some people, it's going to make them look good. I think for some people, maybe in battle, I think they might rush. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't know who's next. Like I said, we won't see this on this level for a long time. You know, so if anybody think they're about to see anything like this, you're not. That's why I saw when Game made his little comment about Rick Ross. No, nigga, we don't want to hear you do a 15-minute song, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be boring. Like you did a 10-minute song against Eminem. It disappeared. Nobody fucking cares.
Right
You know what
there.
I'm saying? Nobody cares because it's not authentic. You making up something, you pushing. This battle has been manifested for years. Same way Jay-Z and Nas battles really started around it was written. Not, you know what I'm saying? We can debate if that Lex with TV says the minimum was at Jay. We don't know, but there's a rumor on that. We know We Will Survive. He said he claimed to be New York's king. All this stuff over years as the little shots was taken. Same with Drake and Kendrick. We're gonna know somebody try to force something. That's why it's gonna be years before two huge moguls, you know what I'm saying, at the apex is going to battle because it's got to have some backdrop to it. You got to have some meaning to it, and they're gonna have to also have somewhat of a relationship. Kendrick and Drake, like we said, was on Take Care, a Good Kid, Mad City. They toured. They had some camaraderie. Jay-Z and Nas, they knew each other, just like Lost Professor said before. They was on tour for real to go before Jay-Z was anybody. He knew who Nas was. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They were very familiar with each other in a lot of different circles because of Lost Professor and because Jazzo and all of them. So it was history there. You know what I'm saying? So there's no history there. It's not going to be believable. So we're going to have to wait for a couple of years, man, to really be able to truthfully answer that, right?
Yeah, and again, like we said earlier, given all the things that we mentioned, and even when Tone asked me, how I felt when I first heard Like That, it's the same thing. It was something that was brewing. It was brewing for those two
Yeah.
individuals. It was brewing for everybody who knew there was
Yeah.
subliminals, and so there was a lot more there. So obviously, there's a ton of things beyond. This one's a pedophile, and this one's a wife beater. There was extortion bars, there was ghostwriter bars, there was all this in there because of material.
Yeah, it was
So like
nasty. It was nasty work.
it was nasty work. And like Tone said, there's just a couple of individuals who, we don't want to hear from y'all. Let's focus on the task in hand. So again, I agree with Tone, man. This is one of the greatest battles in hip hop history. we kind of thought it would be, and it kind of played out that way.
Yeah.
Again, we still walk away as Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake fans,
Yeah.
anticipating new music from all three of them. Is about nothing but the music. Anything outside of that is for y'all to talk about and debate. But definitely leave your comments in the comment section below. Do you think this is one of the greatest hip hop battles of all time? Do you think one of them dropped a song that could be top 5, top 10 or all time, or anything we mentioned about this battle? You can leave the comments in the comment section. Now, we're going to do something new at the end of the show. Before, we used to do album recommendations, but we're going to switch it up to do a little bit more engagement, participation, if you will, with a question. And we're going to answer the question, but we want you to also answer the question in the comment section. Tone, knowing that this year, 2024, we're going to get an album from Common produced by Pete Rock and an album from Nas produced by DJ Premier. Which one do you think will turn out to be the better project?
Oh man. Oh man. This is one of them questions where it depends on what day you ask me. But let me say this. I feel like Common sounded good on that first song though.
Right.
I swear he did. I'll say this though, just for context. Production wise, I honestly think Pete Rock gonna have the better beats. And yes, outside of Dr. Dre is my West Coast GOAT. Primo is my East Coast GOAT. I think that Pete Rock has been making better beats over the last 10 years in hip hop than DJ Premier. I like the new Nas Primo song. It's dope. I like the beat. But I think the Common and Pete Rock song is better. I think the beat is better, but both of them are dope. I'd have to, preliminary wise, I'm gonna slightly give the production I'm gonna give to Pete Rock. I think the way Nas been rapping though, I don't know if Common can do that for a whole album still. Maybe he can, you know what I'm saying? But the zone that Nas been in through the Hit Boy series, I'm gonna say Nas gonna be the better MC, and I think Pete Rock gonna be the better producer. So I'm gonna give the edge to Nas and Primo because I think that Nas is just gonna be spectacular. He know what's at stake with this album. I think that the song that we heard is gonna be a bonus track on there. And I think that Primo is gonna come with the best he can do. It'll still be good. I think Pete Rock might have a little bit better production, but I think the overall album, because of Nas, where Nas has been since this Hit Boy run, I'll give it to Nas and Primo. But I think it's gonna be tough, man. What about you?
I agree. When I wrote the question down, I really had to think like hard about it because I totally agree. I feel like Pete Rock has the edge with the beats, and Nas, because of his current work, has the edge with the rhymes and the songs. In a lot of ways, they probably should switch. You know what I'm saying? Because Nas and Pete Rock album sounds really good to me. You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
Their current work.
What they say? Wonder why Pete Rock would act like that.
Right.
So you know.
Right. But just thinking about where Nas is and where Pete Rock is with his production.
I think it will be epic, man. But I'm hoping that I feel, you know what, man? I feel good about both of them. So I feel good about both albums. I'm gonna give the edge to Nas Primo for the reason I said just now, man. But what a time, man! You know what I'm saying? Like I'm excited about both because I love Common. People know what I think about Common. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of the biggest Common fans you'll ever see, man. And so I'm happy for him. He looked happy on IG. He looked happy in the studio with Pete Rock. His interviews, he feels really good about this album. And so, I know somebody who heard it,
Mm.
and they said it's incredible.
Yeah, well, I was
It's
going.
coming. It's coming very soon. It's coming very
Yeah,
soon.
to me, that's my pick, to be honest,
It's
because
coming very soon.
Nas and Premier have done more than just that one record.
But I'm talking
You
about. I'm talking about. I know somebody heard the Pete Rock and Common
no,
album.
no, no. I'm saying I'm choosing Pete Rock and Common
Okay,
over
gotcha.
Premier.
Okay.
Based off of what I've heard, like I've heard one song that wasn't that great from those two. I think it was called Beatbox or something like that. Recently, off the Hip Hop 50 EP. This one was better to me. But it, like we all said, it kind of sounded like an announcement more than
Yeah.
anything. But then when we heard the Common joint with Pete Rock, it was like, oh, Pete Rock Beats must have him back in his bag. So,
It
I mean,
sounds good. That song sounds good from Common to Pete Rock.
right, and we're gonna listen to all of it. It's not one, yeah, because we definitely have to say that as a disclaimer for some people who watch. Just because you pick one doesn't mean the other one is garbage.
I mean, I don't know how many ways we can stress that.
Like it just
I
doesn't,
mean,
because we
Jesus Christ.
like, dog, we want both, but sometimes it's fun to place your bets before
And
a
you know
fight.
what? We'll have to have an episode at some point, and if we're lucky, both comes this year. We can analyze both, and we can revisit this episode. And as this question we posing to the audience, as far as like, these two albums, the episode about these two albums, and revisiting them, and maybe even track by track, comparing them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like to do that every now and then.
And look, what if we finally get Q-Tip and LL? Because that's a pairing right there where it's
I don't know what LL and Q-Tip doing.
like, yeah, I don't know what they, maybe, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing and make him get up out his chair and realize they don't have to be
I
doing
mean, the way LL was talking in the last interview I saw LL a couple of weeks ago, he said it's been done.
Yeah,
LL said the album is done.
yeah, it been done.
And he said he feel like it's incredible. And look, the songs I heard, I like. Y'all know, me and you are the same when it comes to James Todd Smith. So,
Right.
you can't say shit bad about LL to me. I ain't trying to hear it.
Right.
So I'm just mad I'm mad L ain't gave it to us yet. That's the only thing I'm mad about L about. Outside of that, I don't play that shit. You don't fuck with James Todd.
Yeah, and it could be an interesting year if they all like finally release, and Snoop and Dr. Dre. So we'll see. But what do y'all think about that question? Which project do you think will be better, stronger, whatever way you want to slice it? Are
Good
you
question.
anticipating both? Are you anticipating one versus the other? My thing, I'm thinking if you watch this kind of a podcast, you probably hype for both. So leave your comments in the comment section below. Uh, please know that you can subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts on audio form. That's Apple or Spotify. Also, right here on this channel, Hip Hop Now Podcast, you can subscribe not only for that time in hip hop content, but my weekly podcast, which is a news podcast every week, right here, trying to get to 500. Let's make it happen. Also, on YouTube, you can check out Tony's podcast, Into the Dome podcast, where he talks about hip hop in various ways, current events, things like we just did, right? Which album is better, recapping history, a number of things, which is also reflected in his writing, which isn't all hip hop, you know what I'm saying, on hip hop or intothedome.com, where you can check out a couple of articles that he wrote about some of your favorite artists, from hip hop to soul, or whatever it may be. And most importantly, follow us online, you know what I'm saying, on Twitter, on Instagram. Tony, yours on Twitter is Into the Dome, right?
Yep.
Yeah, follow on Twitter. We could chop it up there about this in the battle. But most importantly, if you enjoy this content, share it with people you know that would also like this content. Till next time, y'all, we are not critics. We are hip hop fans, and go out and support real hip hop. Peace.
Peace.